Imagine this: the sky turns black, not because of clouds, not because of smoke, but because 1 million tiny mechanical predators rise into the air like a living swarm of metal hornets, their wings humming in synchronization, a sound so terrifying that it drowns out even the roar of jet engines. And on the other side of this nightmare, only 10 fighter jets, sleek, powerful, armed with the latest missiles and cannons, stand between humanity and annihilation. And now the question is, could they survive? Could they win? Or would they simply become burning wreckage raining down from the heavens? Think about it. Each fighter jet, let's say F-22 Raptors, the deadliest aircraft in the world, each worth hundreds of millions, equipped with stealth, speed, and weapons capable of shooting down almost anything in existence. But this is no ordinary enemy. This is not another nation's air force. Thesis, 1 million drones, each the size of a bird, maybe like a crow, armed with tiny explosives or sharp metal edges, programmed with one command only: eliminate anything with a human pilot. The swarm doesn't care about strategy, doesn't fear death, doesn't run out of courage. It just comes, wave after wave, like a living storm. Now the first wave begins. The 10 fighter jets climb high, engines howling, their radars lighting up with a wall of incoming contacts, so many that the radar screen turns almost solid. The pilots lock on, fire AMRAAM missiles, each missile screaming into the swarm, exploding, tearing hundreds of drones into burning fragments. And for a second, it looks like the jets might stand a chance, but then the swarm closes the distance. The drones scatter, reform, regroup like a school of fish or a flock of starlings, constantly shifting so missiles can't lock properly. The jets switch to cannons, spitting thousands of rounds per second, shredding more drones. But for every 100 destroyed, 1,000 more replace them, and now the swarm reaches striking distance. Imagine what that looks like: millions of black dots surrounding the jets from every angle, hitting the fuselage, clogging the engines, scratching the cockpit glass. And even if one drone doesn't do damage, thousands striking like hailstones at supersonic speeds tear the jets apart like paper. The pilots pull desperate maneuvers: barrel rolls, sharp dives, vertical climbs, using their speed to outrun the swarm. But no matter how fast they go, the drones keep coming: small, agile, expendable. One jet launches flares, tricking drones to crash into them. Another fires all remaining missiles into dense clusters, explosions lighting up the sky like fireworks. But still, the black cloud reforms. Now imagine this. Each drone doesn't fight alone. It's linked by AI, a hive mind, adapting instantly, learning from mistakes. If one drone is destroyed by a flare, the rest adjust, no longer fooled. If one formation gets torn apart by cannon fire, the hive changes shape, spreading thin to avoid concentrated bursts. And slowly, one by one, the fighter jets begin to fail. The first one gets overwhelmed when 1,000 drones dive directly into its engine intake, clogging it until it explodes in midair, leaving a fiery trail across the horizon. The pilot ejects, parachuting down. But even then, the swarm doesn't stop, hundreds of drones diving onto the helpless figure until he disappears in a storm of metal shards. The second jet tries to climb high into the stratosphere, thinking the drones might not survive at such altitude. But the AI adapts, sending only the strongest up, while the rest wait below. The jet stalls from lack of oxygen, drones tear through its wings, and it spirals down like a falling star. 8 jets remain, but panic sets in. These are the best pilots in the world. Yet for every maneuver, the swarm evolves faster than human reflexes. The swarm splits into groups, some distracting, some circling behind, some forming kamikaze packs to slam into cockpits. Imagine the horror of seeing your wingman's glass canopy shatter as thousands of drones crawl inside, tearing the pilot apart before the jet even crashes. 7 jets, 6, 5, and every second, the swarm grows more terrifying. But here's the twist. The fighter jets are not only weapons, they're symbols of human innovation, the peak of military engineering, and their pilots know surrender is not an option. They coordinate, forming a diamond formation, Overlapping fields of fire, cannons blazing non-stop, missiles firing in perfect timing, creating walls of explosions that briefly push the swarm back. For a moment, hope flickers. Maybe, just maybe, teamwork and human ingenuity can outsmart raw numbers. But then, the drones adapt again. Instead of attacking directly, they form a giant cloud, blocking out the sun, creating darkness over the battlefield. The jets fly blind, sensors overloaded, radars jammed by the sheer noise of a million signals. Suddenly, out of the black mist, kamikaze packs strike, hundreds of drones sacrificing themselves at once, piercing fuel tanks, breaking tails, ripping through wings. Another jet goes down. 4 remain. Their fuel runs low. Ammunition nearly empty. Sweat drips into the pilots' eyes as they fight against impossible odds. But still, they don't quit. They climb higher, almost into space, then dive down at supersonic speeds, using shockwaves to scatter clusters of drones, explosions trailing behind like comets. 2 more jets survive the dive, but the others are lost, swallowed whole by the swarm. Now only 2 remain, dodging, weaving, firing the last of their ammunition. The sky is a graveyard of fire and smoke, and still, the swarm doesn't stop. The last 2 jets realize the truth. They cannot win by firepower. They can only win by sacrifice. 1 jet dives straight into the densest part of the swarm, igniting its entire fuel reserve, turning itself into a massive explosion that wipes out tens of thousands of drones in one blinding flash. The final jet uses the chaos to escape, engines screaming, flying low over the ocean, pursued by the remnants of the swarm. But even as it speeds away, the pilot looks back and sees the sky darkening again. Millions more drones rising, endless, unstoppable. And here's the question for you, the viewer. In a future where numbers and AI overwhelm even the most advanced weapons, can human bravery still matter? Could 10 fighter jets ever truly stand against 1 million drones? Or is this the beginning of wars where machines will always win? And if you want to hear more insane scenarios like this, where imagination meets military power, then you already know what to do. Hit subscribe, because the war has only just begun, and you don't want to miss the next battle of What If.